Hello. Hi there. I'm Linda K. Gifford, and it has been a long minute since I've been with you. I've been moving. I'm in my new home with my new studio, also called the living room. I made an actual studio, but I just feel more comfortable in the living room. So we've been talking a lot. I should precurse this again. I'm sorry. I'm Linda K. Gifford. I'm a sexual assault survivor. I have survived 7 years of childhood sexual assault and a sick society. We've all we're all really survivors of the sick society that we live in. And if that doesn't make you angry, I don't know what will. I'm angry. I'm very angry. I'm angry a lot. And I have, in the past, I have used that anger inappropriately against myself, against others, sabotaging relationships. And I would like to teach you not to do that. So, of course, I have to start with me. And I'm really just learning myself. So, in the manner that we discussed dissociation or disassociation, which I prefer, but I'm trying to switch to say dissociation because although both are correct, that's the one everybody seems to prefer to use. In the way that we use dissociation for good, not evil, as I taught you, we must turn our anger into something positive too. So people are going to tell you, don't be angry, just like they tell you dissociation is wrong. Um, these are things inherent in survivors of childhood sexual assault. When you have been victimized repeatedly in childhood, okay, I'm repeating. Yeah, I'm repeating some things here because like I said, it's been a long minute since I've been on. So I want to refresh your memory as to what I do here. Actually, let me precurse this by saying I had this conversation today. I am not the person to turn to if you are not ready to get a grip on your life and move on. That's not me. I am the person to listen to if you're going to accept your past and you want to move on and thrive and have a happy, good life and have an amazing sexual relationship with somebody that includes intimacy and something emotionally solid. For me, having been married and divorced three times, count them, I have come to realize that while, yes, they all had issues and I'm glad I'm not with them, I did the picking. Something in me from my experience and something in you from your experience has led you to feel this sense of discord and disconnection from other people. And whether that translates for you into not having a sex life or translates into, like me, having one that wasn't based on the proper is a strong word, on forms of intimacy that actually create or are based, not create, that are created by a really tight relationship with someone. You may have learned, like I did, to pretend to be something everybody wants, to try to make somebody else happy, to try to fit in. And all along, underneath it all, you probably have anger and rage, or you would have seen the title of this video and moved on by. So today, back to the top, what I'm going to try to talk about is how to harness your anger in a healthy way. And yeah, that's possible. Um, I have been told by a close friend that I am angry. I'm like, yeah, think? Yeah, I am. I have a lot of anger. And in the past, I used that anger, and not just the past, in the present too. I can throw that anger around like a bunch of spaghetti and see what sticks to what wall and hope that I get a rise out of somebody. But what I want to do and what I'm trying to do and what I'm getting better at doing is harnessing my anger and using it to educate and advocate. So in the manner that we talked about dissociation, being something that everyone says, oh, or the textbook, if you've been to therapy, whatever, some therapists and a lot of things you read will be like, this is a sickness. Your ability to dissociate is bad. Well, right or wrong, and yes, there are negative consequences of it and many things in life. Some things you can't get rid of. Some things are ingrained in you. And when you have cPTSD, the C stands for complex PTSD. When you have something ingrained in you, like cPTSD is, to where it acts before you do, it acts before you think, it acts before you have a time to look at the thought and quantify and qualify it, then it's going to be very hard to get rid of. And I find it very frustrating when people tell me, don't be angry or stop dissociating or things that I'm just not capable of. So, knowing that I have this anger over what happened to me and anger about a lot of things going on in the world right now, anger about the disparity of wealth, anger about women supporting this patriarchal view that we are to be subjugated and commoditized and bought and traded and sold, and anger about the way sexuality is is promoted even by the women who claim to want to support and change things. They still further the marginalization of women. So anger. It's there. I can't lose mine. So I am learning to direct it. And what prompted me to talk about this, pardon me, I'm rusty. I haven't done this for a couple of months while moving, been on a hiatus here, to, as I said earlier, to move, to set up my new studio, and to finish my book. And my book is damn near ready to publish. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I still have this anger. So I was looking at and talking with my friend and partner today about how I see now in retrospect, kind of sucks that we have to do everything in retrospect, right? But you gotta think about it sometimes after the fact. I'm trying to learn to project what I want to be and be that automatically. But oftentimes it's not until after I've dissociated or after I have been angry inappropriately that I realize, ooh, I see what I'm doing. And I see that it does not serve me. It does not serve you. So how can I take the things I can't get rid of, my cPTSD, my body memory that comes before my mind can think, my anger and dissociation, part of that comes before I can think, how do I harness that and turn it into something that is good for me and the world instead of something that is just either detrimental or just flailing about? And that's what I want to talk about today, is that I'm on this journey to make society, to change the language of society and to make it a better place for everybody. And for me, but also for everybody else, for my children, for my grandchildren. I don't want them to live with the kind of crap that I have. I don't want you or anybody else's family members to have to figure all this stuff out decades later. I want to change the language of society. And to do that, I realized today, damn it, because being angry feels good. and I want to be angry, and I want to throw it out there. But you know what? Like that spaghetti I talked about earlier, you throw it at the wall and pieces just start falling off. It's like, what did I just accomplish? Is the spaghetti cooked or not? I don't know. It's on the floor. I'm not going to try to eat it now. So let's keep our anger off the walls and the floor, and let's direct it into educating and advocating for what we want in life. And that's easier said than done. So this whole thought process led me to think about my social media journey, really, my journey here to you. Um, if you've been with me long enough, you know have in the past been blocked repeatedly for things I've said online. Facebook has given me the 1 day, 3 day, and then month, shut me and my business down for a month because of things I said. And I was angry about that too. But I realized that I do have to work within the framework provided, whether I agree with it or not. I have frameworks. I have family frameworks. I have societal frameworks. I have job frameworks. I have spiritual frameworks I'm learning. That's a new one for me too. And looking at my journey through social media, what I did initially was basically just kind of talked about whatever. I wasn't doing any live streams or anything. You know, when I posted on Facebook in the past or wrote or wherever, I think it was more substantive. Final answer. Someone help me out here. Substantial. We'll go with that. Substantive. Anyway, when a certain person took office a while back, because I'm trying to be less political, but we all know what that means, I got very angry. Okay, I'll just say it outright. So I went to sleep one night going, Hillary won. She wasn't my first choice, but I really like her too. And at least, and she's not Trump. And yay. And I woke up the next morning and my president was Trump. And I cried with hysterics, with despair. It went on. I couldn't believe anybody felt this way. And I started out relatively nice, trying to educate people. And then over time, as you know, if you're here, you're progressive minded too. And I think many of us went through these phases. I'm just identifying them now. So I went through the phase of trying to tell people, look at this, look at this, look at this, trying to educate you. Do you see what's wrong here? Do you see what's wrong here? And after a while, I realized, hey, I can't change these people. It doesn't matter. What I say doesn't matter to any of them. I got angry. I got angrier and angrier. And my trying to persuade people to what I consider rational, adult, kind, societally appropriate thought wasn't working, then I started throwing out those just moron, hateful kind of remarks, just like trolling people. This is what I was telling my friend today. I say friend, my partner, the one I love today. I was just throwing that stuff out there, just like I said, like the spaghetti, throwing it at walls to see if it sticks. But here I was, angry, just trolling essentially people. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing at the time, but my anger had taken me over. My anger had overwhelmed me. And the next step was very recent. I've been on the anger overwhelming me stage for a long time. Realizing, having to examine why are people accepting this? Why are people not using common sense and reason and kindness in their religious or spiritual upbringings to see right from wrong? Why don't they believe the scientists over Joe Schmo? Why? I couldn't find any answers. And so I turned to anger, not consciously, but we've been doing that. And now I see more clearly that there's an even greater threat than I ever imagined. We're not just in a situation where good will prevail. We're in a situation where we need to create good. We need to create an atmosphere of understanding, and hating on people isn't helping me to change the picture and the world the way I want to. So, although anger would be my first go-to and I really enjoy it, I gotta say, in a sick way, that mean that just F you attitude, it's not going to make a better life for my children and my grandchildren or me. Being shut down and told I'm hateful. It's like, yeah, I know that. You're preaching to the choir. I already knew that. But it's not serving me. So that's what I want to get to today. As a childhood sexual assault survivor, bringing it more personal now to us who are in on this, in this, the club nobody wanted to be in, the anger misdirected in whatever way you're misdirecting it feels good, because like I talked about, that rabbit hole that we jump into, the rabbit hole of I'm going to just lose it, it feels good to lose your mind, to not have to think about it, to just break things, to yell and to scream and to cry and to basically let go of all of your stress in a way that isn't thoughtful. It feels good for a moment. Then everybody thinks you're crazy and they try to get you doctors, or they might lock you up or whatever. It doesn't serve you. That's where I'm going with this. But I can't lose my anger. So I got stuck on that loop for a while. What do I do with my anger? What do I do with it? What do we do with this? So whether your anger is stemming from a history of being sexually assaulted, or whether your anger stems from anything else, the only thing I can find that makes sense to do to move forward with my own personal happiness, and potentially something that might have the opportunity that it might change something for somebody, and that change might spread, is that I have to go back to kind of where I was initially with teaching, trying to say, hey, don't you see what's going on here? We have to educate and we have to advocate. So that anger that we can't lose, it's time to change life with it. It's time to look at people and try to realize that I'm going to go back to something my father told me. My father told me to remember that everybody's life experience isn't the same as mine, and that everybody's opportunities, I mean, just look at media. This is something that was, I didn't even realize at the start of this, how many people in many communities don't even have access to a media source that is progressive, that is any different than what their family has taught them. So hating on these people, while it may make me feel empowered momentarily, it's not changing anything. I didn't change anything. I got myself shut down. I got my business shut down for a month because of Facebook advertising. And that's another thing I'll talk about, because I'm giving that stuff up for the good of all. I will still use Facebook for promotion, but I'm not going to do paid advertising, because I don't want to see people targeted running down rabbit holes, whether it's in their community because of their lack of education, because of their lack of access to other types of media or lifestyles. For whatever reason, hating on people ain't working. That's what I'm saying. So I am making a conscious choice to go back to the idea of educating, but go forward to the idea of advocating education in a way that actually might do some good in the world. This is why your vote is so important. This is why projecting understanding is so important. And I'm the worst at this. I have been terrible. That's why I'm telling you. Almost every live stream I have is some kind of a confession. My live streams, as I said in the beginning, were really there for me to write my book, because I find it easier to go stream of consciousness and then turn it into chapters. I don't see any way forward except for redirecting the anger I can't get rid of into something I consider more, I was going to say appropriate, but that's not the right word. I think it's appropriate to hate right now on people and to troll them and to call them morons. But I do see that's not helpful, in the same way that dissociating is not helpful, but it's something that I'm going to do anyway. So I devised a way to use it for good, not evil, against myself or the world. And I encourage you to take your anger and use it to drive you to educate yourself, as I have been educating myself, as to the disparities in the world and why many people just don't have the ability to think on the level that we want them to think, that we want them to agree. I have been angry when you don't agree with me because I'm right. And I am. And I'm going to stick by that. But I have learned through experience, through recent experience, that telling people I'm right and you're wrong seldom gets anything accomplished at all. And I need to accomplish things. I need to accomplish things in my personal life, and I need to accomplish things on a global level, because I'm going to leave behind my children and my grandchildren, should they ever appear. And it's just kind of comes down to a basic, are you going to get your rah-rahs out hating on people, or are you going to try to understand why they are the way they are and work on every level, personally, societally, with what you say, with what you write, with what you advocate, to give them an alternative that makes sense. And for us on a personal level, as childhood sexual assault survivors, it gets very easy to get lost in what many call obsessive thought. I do this. I will get a thought in my head and I will repeat it. And if I'm angry at someone, I can repeat that thought over and over and over. And in doing that, it's taking time away from my ability to work on my store, to connect with other people, to write, to coach, to do all the things I want to do. I can get so lost in my anger that I am not accomplishing anything. So what good did that do? Just because I know I'm right and I'm righteous and I'm right, I have a more important goal. And I encourage you to realize that you have a more important goal. And that is beyond yourself. That is to make damn sure, to the best of your ability, that nobody can be treated like you were treated. And as another friend told me, you can't change this in your lifetime. It's like, well, that is true. I don't expect to eradicate sexism from the world. I don't expect to eradicate arranged marriages and religious doctrines that subjugate women from the world in my lifetime. But I do envision a world where that is the norm. And we are so far from that, because for everything that has happened to me in my life that makes me feel marginalized, commoditized and disparaged against as a woman. When I look at the global picture, I've still got it better than most women. And when people say that to me, it's like, yes, that's true. But I don't take comfort in that. I don't take comfort in my being born in America and having more opportunity. What I do is I see that, and it makes me realize that most women in the world have no say over their own lives, have no say over their own vaginas, that huge amounts of people, including entire giant religions, advocate that women are just a commodity to be bought, sold, traded, and commoditized. And I'm going back to the arranged marriages thing here because it is a very good example. And I'm going to say it again, and it will be the subject of an entire live stream soon. Again, if your father or mother or family is telling you who you should marry, and you're in a society that accepts that that's the way it is, you are being sold. You are being commoditized. They're taking away your right to choose your own happiness. They're sickos. Sickos. Yes, I'm going to say it straight up. It is a sicko and a sick religion, not the religion itself, but the part of it that has been bastardized into saying, I control you. That's a sickness that you need to avoid. And I'm starting to get angry again. Back it down, Linda. We have no other ability when we got laws and millions of people stacked against our logical way of thought. We have nothing to turn to except for educating and advocating. So, lose the anger as much as you can. But for that part you can't get rid of, take it, turn it on its head, and instead of throwing your angry spaghetti at the wall, direct it. Direct it. Direct your anger into things that can actually make a change. Hey, that brings me to my charity, the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund. Still awaiting our nonprofit status. It's all backlogged, evidently. But the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund, you can start a subscription. As they always say, for as little as $5 a month, you can start a subscription to the Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund and help us to buy tickets, transportation, help people get out of bad situations and into a place where they can be helped, where they can thrive, where they can escape from sexual trafficking, from sexual assault. And I'm going to include from arranged marriages, from families that would take them and use them as nothing more than a pawn in their game. So that's one thing you can do. You can support the Sweet Survivor. SweetSurvivor.com is now part of my store, feelgoodfairtrade.com. I am going to throw this in here, and it's not a shameless promotion. It's a fact. My business has been around for over 4 years online now. We support women artisans. I refuse to give my money to Facebook this year because I am disgusted by the fact that people are being forced down these rabbit holes that hurt so many things. It hurts us on so many levels to be presented only information based on what we're already looking at. I'm not opposed to social media. I've been a big advocate of social media. I have in the past, and I still hold to this. I say people should be more knowledgeable. People should be educated enough to discern for themselves. But the fact of the matter is many people are not. And so rather than being angry at these people for not knowing what I know, it's time for me to accept that changing what they know is the only way I can make a difference in their lives. Like I said, trying to be nice and educate them in the initial stages didn't help. Being angry and trolling them and calling them assholes and morons didn't help change anything. So putting my money where my mouth is, putting your money where your mouth is, supporting businesses like mine and others that support women entrepreneurs, that rescue people from human trafficking and abuse and assault. And please call it assault. Another pet peeve, sexual assault is assault. We minimize things, calling it, oh, I was sexually abused as a child. No, I was raped and raped and raped repeatedly. I was groomed for years, and then I was taught to do sex acts on somebody else, which turned into outright penetration rape, and that is assault. So I refuse to say I was sexually abused anymore, and I encourage you to please change that word to assault, because words matter and you need to give it the weight it deserves. So am I angry about that? Yeah. Did I spend years plotting to kill him? Yes. Did I start this whole live stream? You didn't ask, but I'm going to pretend like you did. I wrote out of the need to write because I felt like I was losing my mind when I started my book. I posted it on Facebook with the express intention of hoping it would get back to my assaulter, not abuser, my assaulter. And it did, because I noticed within 3 weeks of releasing that I had 7,000 readers, 3 university professors asking to use it as required reading in their classes, and 64 people in my tiny hometown watching it. Am I glad to think that his life is a living hell now? Yes. 100% yes. There. I got my anger out. I can't change what happened to me, but I could try to change what happens to you and your children and your grandchildren. And I I beg you to join me in that venture. And whether it's educating and advocating in your own life, whether it's shopping from fair trade stores and people who support women entrepreneurs like me, or subscribing to Sweet Survivor, or donating to anybody else like Janie's Fund, Steven Tyler's, which is how I started thinking of my own charity in the first place. I was already helping out with Steven Tyler's Homes for Girls who have been sexually assaulted and trafficked. You find your way to harness that anger. Don't lose it. If you lose your anger, then you're just a subject. Then you're just subjecting yourself to the same old crap. You're in denial of some sort. So keep the anger. Keep the anger. But direct it into something that actually makes a change, instead of just something that kicks your and other people's asses. All right? That's all I have to say today. I'm just going to be on here once a week from now on. I will see you next Sunday. Please take care. Please advocate and educate. And if you're worried about shipping when it comes to my store, if you want to support women artisans, please go to feelgoodfairtrade.com and do so. More importantly, equally important, start a $5 subscription. There's a portal there. You can cancel it at any time if you need to. Right on the store site. Please do something positive with that anger. Don't bury it. Don't get rid of it. Do something to change the world, and something that's not harmful to yourself. All right? Linda K. Gifford, survivor, signing out. Talk to you Sunday. Bye-bye.